Alright y'all, Heroes Rising finally dropped today. I just got back in from watching this movie. It was a dope film. I definitely recommend going to see it. With this review, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna split it in half. I'm going to start with the good things about the movie and then the things that could have been done better with the film. So with that being said, we're going to get right into this. Now there's going to be some spoilers for the film, obviously, so if you have not seen it yet, I would recommend not watching this video, or if you just don't care and you just want to hear my thoughts, by all means stick around and listen. So let's go ahead and start off with the pros about Heroes Rising. So number one, Class 1A. So it was really dope to see the entire class function as a unit and see what they were capable of, and see characters that don't necessarily get a lot of shine get their moments in this film. And there's a lot of high points regarding that for me. Now, the way that they built the story, it was so that none of the adults were around. It was literally just the kids, so that, you know, the movie could focus in on Class 1A and what their capabilities are on their own and how they would function. Characters like Sero, you got to see him do some cool stuff. Ida had a cool moment or two. You had Ayama had a moment. YaBoyRoshi didn't really, I wouldn't say she had any big moments or anything like that, so I can't really speak to that. Tokoyami had a fire-ass moment. So the love was spread around, definitely. It wasn't just the big three that were shown. In fact, I felt that Shoto actually got the shaft in the movie, to be quite honest. He didn't really have much lines. I mean, he had a big moment per se, but in the grand scheme of things, it was very minuscule, if that makes any sense. The way he took down this villain, by the way, it was a cool nod to Prominence Burn, but just what necessarily Prominence Burn could be if it was just an ice attack. And I like that. That was the second thing that I was going to go into in terms of pros with the movie, were the nice little Easter eggs and things that were thrown in there for manga readers, people who know what's to come. The movie starts off with a nice little Easter egg with the whole Dabi and Endeavor relationship. Endeavor shows up to thwart the villains. It was like a high-speed car chase. Oh, Rocklock actually had a dope moment, by the way. Random ass Rocklock. But yeah, Endeavor shows up, uses Prominence Burn, and Dabi, you know, under his breath, he's like, oh, Endeavor. Like, you know that there's some emotion behind that, and it's just kind of hinting even further at what we already know is coming in regards to their relationship. The relationship between Dabi and Endeavor. Nice little Easter egg there. The Easter egg with the doctor, seeing his lab, you know, where we're at in the manga now, seeing what everything looked like. And 9 was one of his test subjects. So it was kind of giving a little bit more insight into what Shigaraki was going through these past 4 months, or not really, the full 4 months hasn't passed. So what he was going through in this laboratory. This wasn't really an Easter egg, it was a spoiler. So I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna speak about it now, but then I'm gonna bring it back up in the latter half. Also bringing up the fact that Deku holds or wields multiple quirks was brought up. So lots of stuff for manga readers to enjoy with this film. Animation, action sequences, those were very well done. Very well done, beautiful. You know, we can see why season 4 has suffered animation-wise, what they were working on. And I must say, you know, was it really worth sacrificing all of season 4? Maybe not, but it damn sure made a great movie, especially the final moments with the One for All combo, Bakugo Deku One for All moment. That was an absolute spectacle. That made anything that we've probably seen in the entire show look like dog shit, if we're speaking comparatively. That was beautiful. And the way that they rocked that with the OST, that was nice. The entire theater was going batshit crazy when that was going on. It's interesting because, you know, a person like myself who is, I would say I am like ingrained in the culture when it comes to My Hero. I see a lot of what's going on. I read everything. I keep up to date with everything. I've seen all the trailers. So, you know, I am able to put 2 and 2 together and know when I'm watching the trailer that, oh shit, Bakugo's using One for All. But to see everybody else's reaction in the theater who didn't necessarily see the trailers or know what the hell was going on, that was amazing. Lupa-san was next to me freaking the fuck out because he doesn't watch the trailers or anything for movies. He likes to go in blind. My other boy, you guys have seen in my videos before, Sparrow, he was like jumping out of his chair. His mind was blown. So it's cool to see those reactions. So they did a very, very good job with that. And for anybody who is, you know, an action fanatic and just wants to see the action, this is the film for you. I would say that about 70% of the film is just straight hands action. They did a really good job with that. I know a lot of people complain, even though it's My Hero Academia, a lot of us understand, of course, we do have to see the education aspect of what's going on in the story, but a lot of people just want to see the fights. So this is definitely for you guys because there's a lot of that in the entire film. And again, I thought it was done really well. I liked the villains. I enjoyed the villains. In fact, the high point for the villains for me, I'm going to call him McGruff the Crime Dog. I thought he was way cooler than Nine. For me personally, like, he was giving these niggas the business, like just bodying them. I loved that character so much, and I wish, you know, I could see more from him in the future. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but I do wish that that was the case. So let me speak to some things that could have done better, right? The first thing I'm going to talk about is a major factor, right? A major thing. So the film was sold to anime-only watchers as having mild spoilers. Like, oh, you guys will be all right. You know, there's not going to be much spoilers, you know, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, I told Lupus on that. I told my boy that. I'm like, yo, you guys don't gotta worry. You know, I know that they showed Hawks, but they kind of brought him into season 4 to kind of get everybody prepared for that. They brought him in early. And I'm watching the film, and there's a major fucking spoiler in the film. Major. If I was an anime-only watcher, I would feel like I got hoodwinked. I would be so pissed. Like, that's ridiculous. So, there's a certain point in the film, Nine comments on the fact that he notices that Deku has more than one quirk. He notices that he has multiple quirks and mentions that he doesn't have enough space to hold all those quirks. Lupusan gave me this look. He looked over at me with his mouth wide open. You guys have seen this in reactions when he's like shocked. He looked at me like what? And y'all, I literally had to give him a light explanation of what the fuck he just heard. It's kind of like the entire theater gasped. They're like, what? So I don't think that that was cool. I don't think that that was necessary at all for them to include in the film. So that could have been omitted from the movie. Another thing that could have done better is plot. I think that the plot was lacking in multiple different aspects. A main one is making me care for the villain in any shape or form. You don't really get too much information on him. It's just the most bare bones backstory you could possibly get on a villain. And yeah, you know, the kids are on an island and villains show up. There's not much there. Comparatively, there was a lot more interesting story in the first My Hero film, linking everything with All Might's past and characters that were linked to him. I thought that they did a better job with that, but clearly here in this movie, the focus was more on the spectacle side of things and making things look absolutely terrific, which they did a great job with. Another thing that they could have done better was the explanation of the One for All transfer and why it didn't fully work with Bakugo. I'm not really buying the explanation that it didn't work because he lost consciousness. I thought that that was just a cop-out. I understand that that had to be done for the sake of the plot and the story and, you know, the movie and how it fits in with things. I just wasn't buying it. I was just like, oh, that's the explanation. I thought there was going to be something cooler that happened that would explain that, but that's what we got. The explanation was, of course, hey, he lost consciousness and the transfer didn't fully work, so Deku retained the quirk, which is kind of weird because they swapped blood. It was like in his bloodstream, so that would kind of hint at the quirk being sentient and just being like, nah, I'm gonna head out. And it was just, I don't know, I just thought that was a poor explanation. But other than those things, it was a really well done movie, man. I really had a great time watching it. Go watch it with friends. The theater was jumping. It wasn't as packed, well, in my area, it wasn't as packed as the first film. I don't know if that was because of a lack of promotion or most people didn't know. And also another thing that I would notice is with the crowd, there was a difference in the crowd. I don't know if this holds any weight with any of you, but when the original movie came out, I felt like it was more people who were well indoctrinated with My Hero, because, you know, at that point, My Hero was big, but I don't think it was as big as it was now. I don't like using this word, but I feel like there were more casual fans in the crowd, which is a good thing. But I could definitely tell there were less hardcore fans in the crowd based on reactions to certain things that occurred. But all in all, I think I would give the movie an 8 out of 10. I would definitely recommend you guys going and watching it, for real. It was a very good experience, man. I ended up watching it in dub. I wanted to see it in sub, but the theater that I went to had no sub showtimes, unfortunately. So I just ended up having to wait until a home release, and then I'll get it that way. But they did a good job with the dub. The voices were really well done. There were no moments that like completely took me out of the moment. Some did, where I felt like they were kind of phoning it in. But other than that, great job from everybody. But I want to hear from you guys. Did you guys watch the movie? Did you enjoy it? Let me know what you think. I would love to hear from all of you. But as always, guys, like, subscribe, follow me on all my socials at YaBoyRoshi, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Check out the merch for the link to that down below, and consider becoming a patron. I greatly appreciate it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you guys next time.